What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another How I Would Have Made It video. And this video was requested by the Spider-Man, capital T, capital S, capital M. And he asked me how would I have made Spider-Man Homecoming. Yeah, so apparently I can't outrun this, can I? Well, first of all, if I was to give you the short answer, I wouldn't have made this movie at all. I would have just had Spider-Man fight with the Avengers and other movies. I would not have made his own movie. It wouldn't have happened. It would not exist. But apparently, people know that Spider-Man, no matter what, makes money, apparently. So, Sony, Marvel, they're all to blame. They make money. Spider-Man makes money, so therefore they're going to make a movie about him. Just even though it has Iron Man in it, still makes money because it's Spider-Man, you see. But anyway, I can't give you the short answer and just hit click and say, I'm done, post. I gotta, actually be a little bit more thorough and a little bit more creative with this video. So, let's get into this, shall we? So, what would be the setting of the movie? The setting of the movie would be Spider-Man going to college. He would be 18 years old. He'd be fresh out of high school. And I would have him be Spider-Man for 1 year. The reason why 1 year is so that he can still keep that stupid Civil War suit he had on, right? Which we'll get to later. So, he's going to college. He's trying to get a degree, a science degree for, so he can go work for, Stark Expo, for the science divisions and stuff like that. That's what he's going for. That's what he's striving to do, right? So, how would he be paying for all this? Well, because of Civil War, because Tony, because he helped Tony out with fighting Captain America. He's like, okay, I'll pay for your tuition. I'll pay for all your bills. I'll even pay for Aunt May's bills. So Iron Man's basically got his life settled, right? He doesn't got to worry about Aunt May. He doesn't got to worry about, his problems with money. None of it. He can just be happy going to college and get the degree he's always wanted, right? So he's going to classes, and apparently his lab partner would be Felicia Hardy. His lab partner is Felicia Hardy, the Black Cat, which I cannot believe nobody has done this yet. No one has ever had Black Cat in a Spider-Man movie before, and yet for some reason The Dark Knight Rises had Catwoman, but yet Spider-Man can't get Black Cat for some reason. I guess. I don't know. So, during him going to college, he sees Liz Allen. Yes, I will have Liz Allen in this movie. But she is the cheerleader. She is not whatever she was in Homecoming, right? She would be the actual cheerleader. And she is dating Flash Thompson, the quarterback, correct? Sounds familiar. And maybe they get into a fight, and they stop dating, and, Peter is interested in her, right? So, because Felicia and Peter are lab partners, maybe Peter is like, hey, I don't know what to say, but I want to say something, and maybe Felicia encourages him to go ahead, go talk to her type of, right? Because Felicia's character, I would want Felicia to be, this strong, independent woman who is easy for Peter to talk to. And we'll get to that later as we continue through this story. So, there's going to be this homecoming dance. Yes, apparently colleges have homecoming dances. Who to fuck it, right? So, he wants to ask her to the homecoming dance. He asks her. Surprisingly, she says yes. So, he's all excited, and he's all happy about it, and then we cut to him web-slinging through the city, just, being friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, doing Spider-Man stuff, things like that. But later, we see that there is you know, I don't know. I was getting ahead of myself. Let's back it up a bit. So, after we see him having fun, being Spider-Man, doing his Spider-Man stuff, we see Adrian Toomes. He's back at college. There's this thing going on where like businesses and companies are coming to the college to see what type of kids would be interested in coming to work for them or be interns and stuff like that. So it just so happens that Toomes is there. Toomes, I would want him to be pretty, an old guy, but not like super old either. Maybe, and he talks to Peter. Peter's at the conventions. And just because he's wondering, like, maybe I don't want to do the Stark Expo. Maybe I want to do something else. So he decides to go, and he runs into Toomes, and Toomes is interested in, he loves Peter's mind and his ability to work with the science and all that, the all of that science stuff that I don't want to get into right now. But if you wanted me to, I would. The formulas and stuff like that, all that science stuff. So he's interested. He's like, hey, why don't you come help me with some of my work? And so Peter's like, kind of thinks about it for a little bit. He's like, all right, fine. I'll come and check it out and see if you got anything better to offer than what Stark's offering. So he goes and he takes a few days to kind of work for Toomes almost. Like help him design certain things, help him with certain formulas he's trying to work on. And gets to the point where Peter stumbles upon some crazy military experiment, which is the flying Vulture suit. And he's like asking about it. He's like, hey, what's up with this? And he's like, oh, it's nothing. And Peter's like, no, this is like a military grade flying suit that I didn't know I was here to help you work on military weapons. And he's like, okay, and then he walks out. I'm done. Vulture's like, all right, fine, whatever. But then Toomes find out that Gregory Bessman, his business partner, decides to be like, you're out of here. All right, I'm signing you out. You're fired, essentially. Toomes is pissed. He puts on his suit and just wreaks havoc. Now, I want to say one thing about this suit. Vulture is getting old, right? He's old. He's not ready to just pass away without, leaving some marks on the company. Well, now that he's out of the company, he goes crazy and sets the thing on fire. And Spider-Man's got to go to the rescue and get everyone out of the building. But while he's doing that, the suit, the Civil War suit, is melting. The parts are melting. It's too hot in there. The suit can't handle it because the debris falling on him. He's trying to get the debris off. He's trying to get people out of the building. And this is a tall building, like hundreds and millions of people. Well, not hundreds. Well, yes, hundreds, not thousands. Like hundreds of people inside this building he's trying to get out while he's working with the firefighters to get them out. And the suit's taking damage. Debris falling on him. He's trying to get it off, and the eyes are starting to get damaged. The stupid little spider drone's getting damaged. It's all getting damaged. So after he finally rescues the last person, he has trouble getting back to his college. So he's like, okay, I got to get back to Aunt May's. Actually, you know what? I was going to say he should live on campus. No, I want him to live off of campus. So he's trying to get back to Aunt May's. His web shooters start to fail. He's got to be like, oh crap, I got to walk home. So he's walking home, crawls inside his Aunt May's house on top, and sees the suit, takes off the suit, and it's like it's destroyed. It's completely wrecked. The suit's ruined. He's like, oh crap. So he calls Stark. He's like, hey, you got any spares? And he's like, no. Click, hang up while he's in like Venezuela or wherever he is. And he's like, crap, what am I going to do? So he starts wearing his old wrestling suit for a while. But while he's fighting more crime, he's realizing, oh crap, my equipment's old. It needs to get upgraded. So he starts upgrading. He starts going to his classes. He starts secretly taking certain things to upgrade his web shooters, start upgrading his gadgets. He finds that little stupid spider drone that's melted. He takes some pieces off and he starts making like the spider tracer he would throw to like, it sticks on to things like bikes or, cars and things like that. So while he's doing that, he's like, I need a new suit. So maybe he's like, okay, he goes to, he have like a funny moment of him going to the administration's office being like, hey, can I get a quilting class or something? So he, or I could just like have Aunt May help him out with that maybe. I don't know like which direction I would want to go. I was thinking maybe just have him do like some type of quilting class to be funny. Yeah. So starts making the costume. As far as like the costume design, I would make it like, so he's got the mask, we got the black linings, red and blue, but I'd give him like a spider belt. I know it sounds kind of silly, but here's why. Because he needs cartridges, the webbing. When's the last time in a movie you've seen Spider-Man actually have to change his web shooters? Or have to change certain aspects of his webs? Like, for example, you got the standard webbing that sticks to things and he can web sling off of. And then you got web balls, okay, where he can shoot web balls and has enemies stick to things or projectiles that can use to hit and incapacitate his enemies, right? So that would be kind of cool to see him switch them up and to change them. I thought that would be cool, so I gave him extra ones by giving him the belt. And I actually did like the belt from the Amazing Spider-Man video game where he would have the belt. One of my favorite things in that video game was when he was like web slinging or when he was like falling, you'd see him change the web shooters or fill them with new cartridges. I really like that when I see him change his cartridges. It looks really cool. It's you don't see that often. And you only see that in like a few TV shows or like a few games, which is one game. So yeah, that would be the suit design. That would be what he looks like. So Homecoming Dance is coming up soon. Spider-Man's swinging around and then he sees, he hears a disturbance about maybe like a black cat robbing a bank or something. Maybe he, runs into her and then they're duking it out for a little bit, having funny quips and trying to, recover the diamonds or whatever. But sooner or later in this movie, I would want Black Cat, Felicia Hardy, to figure out that Spider-Man's Peter Parker. And we'll get to that at the end. So it's Homecoming. Let's jump right to, what's Vulture doing during all this? Well, Vulture, he's probably, he's trying to stay alive because that's the whole reason why he was making this suit in reality was because he's old. That's why he needed Parker was because he knew the formula which would essentially keep him alive longer. So basically he was having him work on an anti-aging drug. And that's what the suit was going, and the suit is basically supporting whatever he has left. Which, I don't know if I would have Toomes drain the life out of some people in this movie, but maybe, I don't know, like I said, it's a work in progress. This is a rough draft. So, let's get to the Homecoming Dance, because I really want to get to this, because this is something that in that movie I was so mad at. I was like, why didn't they do anything with this? Here's what I would do. I would have it be like a Halloween type of homecoming, right? That's what the theme is, like a Halloween or like a superhero or vigilante themed dance, right? So, you got people in like funny costumes or like just dressed up, whatever. So maybe Spider-Man decides to go as Iron Man. Maybe he's got like a funny Iron Man suit or something. Obviously, it's plastic and all that, but so. And I know it sounds silly, like why would he go to a dance wearing an Iron Man costume with the Liz Allen? I know it sounds kind of weird, but bear with me here. So during the dance, Felicia starts eyeing up Peter a bit, and Peter is starting to put the pieces together that, hey, she is Black Cat. She is the one robbing the banks and all that. And she's starting to find out he's Spider-Man. So during the dance, it gets to an awkward point where they start dancing because Liz is just kind of like turned off at this point. And, then they start bickering back and forth while they dance, like, oh, I know your secret, whatever. But then all of a sudden, bam, right through the wall, you see Vulture, like, looking for Peter. Like, where's Peter Parker? And then Peter Parker is like, right here. And the scene is basically him writing down the rest of the formula because he's demanding that he writes the formula down for his anti-aging drug. So he's starting to write it up. He's starting to finish it, but then Black Cat's sneaking away. Felicia's sneaking away to go get dressed up. So she swoops in. She starts fighting Vulture. We get a Vulture versus Black Cat scene, and then Peter kind of slips away with the formula complete, and Vulture finally gets his hands on the formula. Spider-Man swoops in, and Vulture fights Black Cat and Spider-Man at the same time. So it's all happening on the dance floor. It's kind of cool. And Black Cat gets injured because Vulture makes an attempt to take Black Cat down, gets her in the arm with one of his knives. She's injured. Spider-Man makes sure that she's okay. And then Black Cat's like, just get him. And then he web slinging through the city, just trying to get Vulture. They're fighting in the sky. They're smashing into buildings. They're fighting. They're just going at it. And it gets to the part where they're just in the sky. They're just fighting. And then eventually he finally stops Vulture. And it wraps up nicely. He sends Vulture to jail. He takes his anti-aging drug and he rips it up so that it never exists anymore. And that was the last end. That was the ending for the fight. So let's wrap the story part up. So, let's talk about Felicia now. So Felicia knows that she can't just come to school anymore because Peter knows about her secret. So she decides to transfer. She's like, I'm out of here, gotta go. So she leaves. She's on the run from Spider-Man and the cops, obviously. And he has no lab partner. At the moment for a while, and they get a new student. They find out that a new student comes to school, and it is Gwen Stacy. Gwen Stacy is like the last character we get to see, and then Peter's eyes light up. He's like, whoa, like wow, she's cool, and then finds out that she's gonna be his lab partner, and then they're just in class. They're sitting down and they're writing notes, and then the teacher asks a scientific question, and Peter raises his hand, but Gwen raises his hand a little bit faster than Peter, and Gwen's called on. She answers it even better than him. She actually gets the answer right, because Peter looks down and he sees that his answer was a little bit off. And he was like, huh. and he is really he is impressed. He likes how smart she is, and that would be how I would end the movie. I would end the movie there, and so yeah, that would be how I would make this movie. I know there was a lot of like, ands and ums and but it's not easy to sit here and be like, how would I make this movie? And I know that it's not like the best in the world. It's not like the world-ending type of movie, but I don't know. I feel like that this was a better idea. I mean, I know that people are going to say that my idea sucks and my idea is, terrible. Like, why would you, do it that way or something like that? But, I don't know. I feel like that this has potential. I feel like if I added a few more scenes or if I added a few things... Like I said, this is a really rough draft. Like, this is not like a written script or anything. This is just ideas that I'm throwing out there to show you guys that, hey, this would be a little bit of a better plot than whatever we had for, Spider-Man Homecoming. Just, that's what I would do. So, I don't know. Maybe I would have a few cameos like Harry or MJ, but that would be how I would make this movie. Of course, you gotta have, Stan Lee's cameo. But yeah, that is how I would make the movie. I know that this was a little bit long-winded than some of my other videos. I hope this is the last Spider-Man Homecoming video that I make. Seriously, I'm done making these videos. No more. No more with these. Please, please, no more. Don't ask me to go further in detail. Don't ask me to sit there and give you a whole new script. Don't even do it. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching, and I'm out of here. Up, and away. See you guys.